All right, all. Today I want to break down for you my personal opinions on the Eras Tour and what I deem the genius behind it. So stay tuned, whether you're a Taylor Swift fan, you're part of the Swifties, or not. I think if you're in the music business, there's a lot of valuable things that you can take from this. So let's dive in. So one thing that I continue to say about Taylor Swift, again, whether you like her music or not, I think any artist, whether you like their music or not, you can start to, if they've had success, really break down the patterns of like what have they done that has been successful in their career and just utilizing that for yourself. And I think Taylor Swift is an incredibly smart businesswoman who has been able to transition from being a really young artist to now someone who is, 44 songs. The Eras Tour is a concert tour by American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift that showcases her 10 studio albums. All right, all. Whether you like the girl or not, is kind of irrelevant when it comes to the music industry. Because I think what you can start to do if you're an artist, if you're a music lover that just likes to dive into these things, is start to understand like what is this person doing if they've had so much success and they've been able to stay in this game, and not only just stay in this game by like the skin of it and just, maintain their core fans that they originally had. Like Taylor Swift does not. She's been able to not only maintain her core fans, but like somehow expand that into all generations, all ages. And so she has done that, guys. She's had, 10 studio albums. That's pretty amazing. And what I think is pretty incredible about what she's done is it's almost like very seamless. We watch other artists like go through an awkward phase. Like I feel like Miley Cyrus kind of went through that in a lot of regards, like when she was like the Hannah Montana, and then all of a sudden her whole PR team went like completely crazy and she just like went kind of wild. And I think they did that purposefully to kind of break her of that Hannah Montana. And you could see how a lot of young artists can, if they start off young in the industry, can go that route just because they want to kind of like rid themselves of what they were and also like reinvent themselves and harness a new fan base or take along the old, but like, I don't know, build a new fan base. But I think with her, she really elegantly, in my opinion, just kind of went from album to album in this way that wasn't like all kind of wild. So I personally like that. I think that's really cool if an artist can grow in the industry and they really seamlessly just kind of make their way through, and each album is a huge hit. And there's also this end of like, there's not, I mean, whatever, like people make music and it's constantly controversial and all of that there, but like, I don't know, she just seemed to do it where it was like you realize she was aging and you realize she's grown and matured, but in the same sense too, it was just effortless. It really was. Like each album is put together. That's another thing to consider, is like she's not only grown, but and evolved as an artist and now expanded over her audience, but like she also has changed genres, right? So that's not always easy to go from one side to the other and still maintain your fan base. Because I would argue that like most of her core fans are still her core fans. And that's why too, when you just see what happened with the Eras Tour and just like the mass response to that, I think it's just a telltale sign of what she's been able to do, because she didn't just, what I think, I remember kind of learning this as an artist and being like, oh, that's a really interesting fact, right? I'm in the New England area and we have Gillette Stadium, which I think has like up to 60,000 people. And then you have Fenway Park, which is like 25, 30,000 people. And then you have some other like venues in the area, maybe like 20,000. And so like TD Bank North, I think that's like maybe like, again, 25, 30, maybe 40. Someone drop a comment if you know all the numbers there. I could look it up, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Because I think at the end of the day, the big thing to understand is that, you know, as people prepare for tours, they need to kind of understand what they could fill, because you don't want to put someone in Gillette Stadium and have them only be able to sell 20 to 30,000 tickets. Now, that's amazing, but it's not going to look that great, right? If people are videoing and there's like a ton of empty space. So though the PR team, the whole marketing, the tour managers, the team, everyone, I think the artist, you want to properly fit yourself in the right stadium so that it's full, it looks great, you sell the tickets, and it just makes sense for you, right? But Taylor Swift can literally sell out major stadiums with 60,000 people. And so it just shows her core fan base and continue to fall. The other thing that I think is just really amazing about this tour is what it was able to do, and that kind of going off of that, how she was able to generate income economically. I was kind of blown away when I read that like she has bought in, by the end of this, it's going to be like 1.5 billion in revenue for, I think herself. And then there's also like the fact that for each city that she's gone to, she has been able to generate so much money for them. Oh, the Federal Reserve says Taylor Swift's Eras Tour boosted the economy. One market research firm estimates she could add $5 billion. That's freaking amazing. So again, whether you like her or not, she's adding to the economy. So, I mean, there's a lot of power behind that, because when you think about it too, with people going to concerts, they're also going to go, they're going to like eat dinner in that city. They're going to potentially travel there and spend the night. They're going to need a hotel. Maybe in that case, they're going to make a whole weekend of it. So there's a lot that goes into it. And that's pretty amazing that she not only was able to make this extremely profitable for herself, but like the city she's going to. So, I mean, kudos to her for that. Again, like or don't, like you have to give someone props for being able to do that. And I think another core thing to break down with this tour is that I heard she went ahead and I think this is a really cool thing, is gave bonuses to a bunch of the workers there. And I think that just kind of shows, even though, I mean, she's walking away, she's going to make some serious money. I mean, 13 million a night on the road is like pretty amazing. But you could see a lot of people that maybe don't even like regard the crew. And so to be able to do that, I think is cool, to be able to not only be transformative for your audience, but also be like transformative for those who work with you. Yeah, so I think that's some things to consider there. So that's really like when it comes to her show as a whole, I mean, I think she's just like many artists, right? I drop a comment. Who's your favorite artist? I'd love to kind of just break that down, right? Or let's take a look at that there. Like, what are they doing? But I think when you look at for artists, and this is a tip that I give anyone who is performing, is like you have to think about what is actually entertaining for your audience, right? Like, how are you going to provide entertainment value? And I think if you just see like the constant costume changes, her taking them through the journeys of the different albums and the dancers and the playing and the singing, that all takes to an extreme amount of energy to be able to perform. And doing that night after night after night, it's shown like what is this here? I missed it, like 44 songs, like a 3-hour set. You know, that is not only physically demanding, but that is also that's also very very mentally draining as well. Because I mean, just imagine, guys, if you were there, or you've ever been to a show, just imagine all of that energy. Being a performer, I know that it's crazy how much energy when you like step off stage, you have like. It's tiring, right? It's like, it's this whole mix of things where like you feel incredible, but you're also like, whoa, I'm really tired, because not only have you had to like physically work yourself, be moving around stage, being your vocals, but like there's also that like mental, like you are just harnessing in so much energy around you. So, I mean, to do that over and over, you know, night after night, I think just it takes a lot. And you'll also see that too, like why you'll see at times people having to like stop their tour because they need to like mentally gather themselves. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense that they would have to do that because it takes a lot to kind of continue on that path, and to not get burnt out. So kudos to her, 44 songs, you know, you're looking at, that's a crazy, like a 3-hour set. You know, it's saying like a catwalk, a cabin, a rocket sled. I mean, there's just so many moving elements because one tip, guys, I want to drop this into here for my performers, right? Performance, I'm huge on like, you want to find your vocal ability. And again, you don't need to be this crazy vocalist who sings all like, you know, Mariah Carey, all this stuff. And you can kind of see it with her, especially her earlier stuff, right? She didn't have like this crazy, crazy range. She's definitely evolved. And you can see that from album to album, her, not only her maturity and her lyrics, but also like her vocal maturity, right? So one huge thing to consider and that you can like do for yourself as an artist is think about what you're going to do outside of singing that is going to like capture this audience, right? Because we can think of the vocals as first, but if you do not do anything, say like movement-wise, gesture, it can be, you know, and one of the things I'll get from a lot of beginning artists is like, well, I don't have like sets and props and, you know, I can't change outfits. And it's like, well, maybe you could be creative. Like maybe you can start with a jacket and take it off, or maybe you can start with shoes and take those off. Maybe you can wrap lights around your stand or something, you know, utilizing a stand, taking it on and off. People don't realize that like visually people aren't going like, oh, they're moving, or like, they're not necessarily saying like, oh, you're doing this entertainment wise or something like that, but like you're playing with people too, because if you only stand there and sing, you're only giving them one thing to digest, right? Whereas, so if you screw up, if something happens vocally, you're like putting that on blast. Whereas if you give them a whole multitude of things to kind of take in and digest, those little things go by and it's like, well, yeah, they don't even recognize it, right? So do yourself a favor and like prepare your show. Think about like, even though maybe I don't have $1 million budget, like even if you don't have that, you can still be entertaining. You can still find ways to engage the audience, and you can still do prop things and, you know, bring people up on stage. That's just like such a classic thing, right? Getting people to sing along. I don't care what. You do not need to be famous to get people to clap, sing along. You could bring someone up on stage. If you see someone like jamming in the audience and they're having fun and it's not going to like disturb your show, you don't want to like throw things off. But like you could bring them up on stage. Like you see artists do this all the time, guys. You can do it. There's a little secret. You can do it. So anyways, I think there was a lot to take from this show as a whole, from not only her maturing through and what she was able to do business-wise in regards to building herself as an artist, but like selling out the stadiums and all of that, and what she's been able to do economically for the cities around her. Like, that's pretty amazing. So that's my input, not only on, I guess, the Eras Tour, but like Taylor Swift as a whole. And I would love to hear your feedback, good or bad. Like, it's your opinion, right? Art is opinion. So I want to hear what you guys think. And if I missed anything, drop that below. And as always, if this has entertained you, if this has given you any little tidbit, do me a huge favor and you can press the button and subscribe. That helps me to be able to continue to do this for you, which I absolutely love to do. Yeah, until next time, make sure, subscribe, like, comment. This has helped you. I love that. All right, guys, over and out.